right, welcome everybody to the comic panel. I'm Cody.
I'm Taylon.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Shawenta.
And today we are covering Young Justice, Book 1, which is primarily by Peter David, but also includes writing from Todd DeZago, D. Curtis Johnson, Chuck Dixon, Mark Waid, Carl Kessel, Jay Faber, and Tom Payer. And then has penciling primarily by Todd Nayuk, and I would say, Mick McCone and Huberto Ramos also do a lot of the work. Mm-hmm. And then additionally, pencils by Angel Unzeta, Craig Rosu, Rosu.
Wait, who you go?
The pencilers.
Oh, gotcha.
Roberto Flores, Ale Garza, Joe Phillips, Cully is that N's or M's? Hamner, one M, one N. Cully Hamner, Amanda Connor, Ethan Van Sciver.
Ethan Van Sciver?
Apparently.
Huh.
Marty Edgeland. Inkers are Larry Stucker, not Sucker.
Yeah, yes.
Larry Stucker, Mark McKenna, Wayne Foucher, and Paul Neary, but with additional Norm Rapmund, Sean Parsons, Cabin Boy, Jamie Mendoza, Jansen Rodriguez, Coley Hamner, Jimmy Palamonti, and Ethan Van Sciver again. For colorists, Jason Wright, John Ramos, Tom McGraw, Roberta Tuis, Pam Rambo, Felix Serrano, Scott Buman, and I think that's the credits we're going to give for this very long book, so that we don't seem...
And publisher DC Comics.
Yes, the publisher is DC Comics.
And so for those wondering why there are so many credits to this book, A, it's really long, and B, it includes like a lot of different Young Justice stories for some reason. It's not just like the standard let's make a trade paperback, it's volume 1, so let's do like the first 3 stories. It's the first 7 issues of Young Justice, Justice League, Young Justice 1 Million, JLA World Without Grown-Ups 1 and 2, Young Justice's Secret Origins 80-page giant, and the Young Justice Secret Files.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they could have... I feel like the least necessary book in that was definitely Young Justice 1 Million.
Was that
get rid of it.
Yeah.
That was a futuristic? Gotcha.
I got to that, I was like, where's this going? And then it didn't go anywhere, so that was cool.
It was
literally meaningless.
So meaningless.
So, and honestly, I don't know, when it happened, it didn't make sense as to why they were doing this, but they included the non-main 3 in the Origins. I was like, I felt that was unnecessary.
Wait, explain that a little bit more.
So I think it was Secret Files, right? Where it was the Origins, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Where they were talking about Arrowette.
Right. Yeah, they were queuing them up, kind of. At least that's how I interpreted it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was sort of, but it wasn't the future. It wasn't the future one. The future one ended, and then they had Secret go into those Origins, right?
Yeah. That was also another... Yeah, that was a problem, because it was it implied that the girls aren't actual members, kind of, on accident. I don't think that's what was meant to be implied, but by ordering it that way, where the boys are the only ones left in the future, it's the girls don't matter.
Well,
they weren't a part of Young Justice.
I didn't interpret it that way. I interpreted it as they weren't the first. They weren't they really weren't like initiated like, oh, now you're part of the team. It felt more like, oh, well, we'll help you out.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's so basically, yeah, because it's like technically, so Superboy, Robin, and Impulse are the 3 founding members of Young Justice. And then eventually, after they have a few adventures, Arrowette, Wonder Girl, and Secret join up with them.
Yeah. I will say that after reading this, Young Justice, the TV show, really did a disservice to Secret. She was like in one episode.
Oh, was she? I had no idea.
Yeah, and Harm, like they were brother and sister.
Oh. Huh.
And he killed her because he wanted to be pure of
heart.
I was just like, wow, that is so. Why would they do that?
Wow, I don't even remember that part of the show. It wasn't in the 3rd season, was it?
No,
okay.
No, it was like season 1.
Okay,
You don't need to have characters have meaningful connections. Just make them siblings.
Yeah,
it's easy.
Yeah,
but then like make Harm super evil and kill his sister. Like, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know.
He was
Harm in this
headed that
book
way.
is still like pretty evil.
Yeah.
He tried to kill his dad. He just wasn't very good at it. So.
Yeah. True.
Gosh, we'll get to Harm in this book, but yeah. Anyway, I guess as far as the future one goes, it seemed weird that there wasn't like a future Wonder Girl and a future, like, I mean, it's not that weird, like when you think about like these issues as they come out, it's all like, well, you don't want to spoil that Wonder Girl and Secret and Arrowette are going to join the team. But at the same time, it's the future, and why isn't there a future version of them? Or
well, what if they split off into their own team? What if they're part
I
of
was
Justice
thinking that,
League?
and they could just call it the Young Justice Females. I'm sure that'll be great.
I don't know. You say you don't want to spoil it, but the issue that comes after that future issue in the book is called, at least like in that like weird like comic title, is like the issue before the one that the girls show up.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
I thought that was funny though.
That is kind of funny. Like, I like it, but
so yeah, starting out with the first few issues, I felt like they were so slow. It was like, I was like, gosh, this is just like dragging on.
I will say, so they introduce Robin first, and then they introduce Superboy, and then they introduce Impulse, and man, Impulse, his design is so bad. I was
bad hair.
Yeah, just bad everything. It's his face. Yeah. And there was one panel where it was his shoes too. There it is. Just like everything bad.
Yeah, it's very very of the time, I feel like. Like when was this published, Jake, do you know?
The late 20th century.
1998
yes.
to something. 2003.
Let me do a quick Google search. But yeah, it's around that time. Like it's somewhere from like I want to say like 93 to 96. I want to say is when it started.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just like, yeah, very of that time period, I feel like.
We let them get away with anything during the 90s.
For real.
Hey, we weren't conscious then. Why should it matter to us?
Well, I think we didn't have any say in it, but the comic industry did.
As an editor in the comics industry at the time, I let it happen.
Oh, I see. Yes. It was you. Gotcha.
God. I think it's the art style that more gets me for some of it.
Like in general, like this art is my kind of art, but like just the way that they drew some of the characters was like, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
You know, that's
well, some of the expressions are just like it's semi-realistic some of the time, and then some of the time the expressions are like, I don't think people should be able to make that face.
Yeah, I've said it on the show before, but Huberto Ramos is just not my favorite You know, it's not that it's not that it's bad. It's just not my style that I like. And so he does a lot of these, especially these beginning issues, and he has a very exact style where it's like this kind of, for kids, bigger eyes, bigger, like more rounded kind of. It gives it gives the book a more like funny kind of feel, which I mean is what they were going for too. I should say that I think that a lot of this book is more like comedy focused, but not like it's not strictly comedy, but it's
comedic.
Yeah, it's definitely comedic leaning.
I see. Yeah, I can agree with that.
I like when Bill Clinton shows up as president. They're like, Mr. President, I'm sorry, we don't have any good news. And it's just Bill Clinton's face.
I mean, technically of the time, because I looked it up, and apparently it was 1998 when this first started coming out. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, 98 to 2003, right?
Yep.
I didn't even look that up.
That Shazam face at the end was the most...
Wait, what do you mean? What page was that?
So, the whole thing is, the kids are somewhere else, separated from the adults, all the kids on Earth. And so, of course, the kid heroes have to step in. And, I mean, I didn't know who... Is his name Billy Batson?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
You'd think he'd be Batman related. But, yeah, towards the end, he's like, what's going to happen? I'm a kid right now, but, if I do the whole Shazam thing... what happens to me as an adult? And but that face where he says Shazam is one of the most terrifying things ever.
Yeah, I didn't notice it when I read it, but I'm looking at it now. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you're kind of right.
Yeah, his jaw is just unhinged, like he's about to swallow. Like it's just like
eat a deer.
Yeah.
I mean, back at the actual Justice League, when they're like fighting with each other, they also make the weirdest faces, some of the adults. That super elastic guy or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Plastic. Oh, well, that's his... Man. I mean, he has an excuse.
But I think some of the pacing and like some of the posing, I don't understand where everybody is like trying to do. I guess they're fighting at that point. I don't know why he's about to swallow that guy whole.
Oh, no. So you're talking about when he like makes the big face behind Green Lantern?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a joke because Green Lantern was complaining about why Plastic Man gets to be the funny guy, but whenever he tries to be funny, everybody gives him like, a look. And Plastic Man is behind him being funny,
I just saw it as total fear. That'd be so scary if I saw somebody doing that to someone. I understood that it was supposed to be a joke. It just was really scary to me.
It's a little weird. But yeah, I do want to talk about like the circumstances that lead them to like the kids being on their own planet and the adults being also on their own version of Earth. And it's just like something that just must happen that you have to accept when you're reading comics where it's like, yeah, I have this potentially highly dangerous ancient Atlantean artifact. Who am I going to give it to? Like a museum or like maybe the government? Oh, let's give it to my kid. What's the worst that can happen?
Okay, like aside from thinking that's dangerous, it's also probably really expensive. You're like, man, I found this like ancient artifact, historical value. It's a toy. It's always been a toy. Just kick it over to my kid.
It could have like a bunch of ancient Atlantean germs on it. You're just going to hand it to your kid.
Hey, I'm sure he cleaned it. He thought it was a toy.
It could be cursed. You don't know.
It's a highly expensive artifact.
Curses? Are you serious? They don't exist.
There are like 3 characters that this guy should know about who have been cursed.
I think even danger aside, it's like going in there and being like, wow, this ancient Ming Dynasty vase. you know who'd love this? My wife. It's like, it's not hers!
Yeah.
I will
She's just gonna serve mac and cheese in it.
We are like, ganging up on, the father, but like, honestly, we should gang up on the kid, okay? That ungrateful brat.
The kid he raised.
Ungrateful.
It's his fault in the end, all away.
That's actually a good point.
Always the dad's fault, you're right.
Well, yeah, both parents, but yeah.
You can be in defense of the dad, but at the same time, like, just buy the kid a Nintendo. Or
it's just like the worst.
It's
just like the worst version of Indiana Jones.
A Playtendo.
Yeah, don't give the kid.
Give the kid $20. The kid will be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm sure there are plenty of, like, ungrateful kids that don't turn into supervillains accidentally. And most of that's based on what their dad does for a living. And what you choose to bring home from your work as a gift.
To be fair,
how do you bring home if you're a doctor? Like an organ?
That could lead to some psychopathic tendencies potentially.
What are you talking about?
As well.
Okay, how much of it is the kid turning evil? Is the kid and the spirit taking over him? Because that was actually a little confusing, because they kind of weaved, like, one time he's talking about, oh, I'm Bedlam, like, the spirit, and then the other time they're like, oh, man, I remember my dad, like, he's so terrible, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
To what extent is it the kid or the spirit inside him?
I mean, it's a demon, right? It's not a demon, but it's the equivalent of a demon kind of thing, right? Like, the kid has some anger issues or whatever, ungrateful, and the demon just feeds into that and helps pump it up to a bigger level.
Yeah, and use it in, like, basically kind of manipulate him to, like, even when he's feeling more forgiving or, like, he wants to change the world back, he misses his parents, it's all like, no, you don't miss them, you hate them.
He's like, you're right.
Or the kid's even like, the kid's like, oh, I just wanted to play, I wanted to have fun, this isn't really that fun. And it's like, well, this is the new fun. Get used to it, kid.
I know how to have more fun. Just keep doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
I will say, the TV show took a huge departure on this story. Like, because...
Oh, yeah, because it was that weird, like, kid wizard...
Clarion, yeah.
Who... Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I watched it. And they separate it because they want to get away from the Justice League, I'm pretty sure. And that's, like, the limit of their thinking. No. It's like, well, the Justice League are all adults, so...
Wait,
was that not it?
How the...
In the show?
No, in the show, it was Clarion who decided to do all witchy witch stuff, and the parent and the adults got split.
You just say magic.
Yes.
That's even shorter than what you said.
He did some magic, and it separated the magic. Well, he's a witch, so... But yeah, the adults and the kids got separated. But that was Clarion and, like, a group of, like, 3 other villains. Or some 3 other magic users, actually.
Right. Okay. Man, I didn't even realize, like, I was like, wow, this is, like, pretty much nothing like the TV show, and then you just keep on, like, oh, there's a reference. I was like, oh. I had no idea, because I just, like, this is so different from the TV show to me that I'm like...
Gotcha.
Yeah. I didn't remember any of it. But
I do appreciate, though, there's some continuity, because this is I don't know if this is around the same time that JLA came out, but, like, we see some characters from that comic in this. I'm like,
this one in particular in the credits had special thanks to Grant Morrison.
Oh, gotcha.
So he must have consulted in some way about how the Justice League should be written.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think we see Zariel, the angel, from, like, when we did the JLA reading.
Yeah.
Oh.
Even though we have, like, regular Superman,
guy.
not blue Superman.
Good point.
So it's weird, some of the stuff that they decide to pull. But also, I do like that even though they're not part of the team yet, we still see, like, Arrowette's here. I think we see a little bit of Wonder Girl, because, like, they're also, like, child superheroes still.
Yeah.
So like they're doing the same job that the team that will become Young Justice later.
Mm.
Like they're still out, doing stuff. It's not just, Robin, Impulse, Superboy doing all the stuff, and then later we get introduced to them. They're still like around. They're in the world.
Yeah. And that also includes Mary Marvel, but I mean again, like not really people who are part of Young Justice, but other kids superheroes. So Mary Marvel and the I don't know what the other Marvel character is.
Oh, Marvel Boy.
Marvel Boy.
I think that's
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, and we get a Teen Titan team that I do not recognize anybody from in that panel.
What panel?
It's the same one where we see Arrowette and there's Captain Marvel Jr. But there's like, and then above that it's like, oh yeah, the Teen Titans are helping out, and I don't recognize anybody in that panel.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's like comics, like long running comic series are about like peaks and valleys, and so they just came out of a really successful Teen Titans run. So they were probably in a like experimental phase at this point.
Gotcha.
Kind of like the X-Men.
Oh yeah, and also spoiler. Okay. I have a huge complaint when they talk about, because Spoiler got her name because she spoiled her dad's plan.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Well, yeah,
like that is so dumb.
He was the clue master, and so she's spoiling his clues.
I don't know how you think that's justification, but okay.
I don't know why this is the hill you're going to die on with, like, when it comes to bad names for superheroes.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not good. It's not good.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
It's not even the worst one, though. Like,
it's not.
There are way worse ones out there.
I don't remember.
Well, no, don't start unless it's in the book. Don't start. But yeah, it's not great, but it's what it is. I've gotten used to it since I learned, because she eventually becomes she's a very short-lived Robin.
Yeah.
And then a longer-lived Batgirl.
Okay.
I really thought, like, they were going to set, especially because they went into her in the secret files or whatever, I thought they were setting her up to join the team, and so it would, and, it's kind of bad because it would have, like, really been a very clear, like, there is an obvious, like, I don't know, matchup between the boys and the girls, and I don't really, I wouldn't like that setup, but it would be like, Wonder Girl and Superboy, because they're both the powerful ones, and then...
Matchup as in what?
Like, I don't know, like, they're just, like, similar. And
there's always an equivalent kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you would have liked it less if Spoiler had joined?
I don't know, but I felt like that's what they were setting it up with, where, like, because, I mean... Spoiler and Tim Drake do actually also become, I don't know, boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever,
Besties.
They become an item.
They become no, I didn't want to say that. I almost repeated you.
I don't know. If
sorry,
they added Spoiler, then it wouldn't be 3-3, right? And we can't have that.
That's what I was thinking you were going.
I don't know. See, the problem I would have with it is we can't have 3 characters who don't have superpowers on this team. We already got Arrowette. We already have Robin. We don't need a third person. Can't do anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But also Secret.
Because then, you're just going to start running into everybody's stuff. So, everybody's going to have less to do now.
I mean, our whole thing is being a spoiler. So, is she just going to spoil, their stuff? Their secret identities? She's got to be ruining it for somebody.
She goes into the DEO facility and gets captured, and she's like, oh, yeah, they're planning to break everybody out.
Oh, she can't keep a secret, yeah.
Okay, no offense to Secret, but what does she do? I don't know.
As she said in one scene, you guys try it the boys' way, I'm going to try it the girls' way. And then she invades Red Tornado. And I'm like, I don't know what this is, but okay.
Yeah. Apparently.
Are you saying the girl's way isn't to become like a gas to infiltrate a robot? Are you saying that's
minds.
not? Yeah. I mean, apparently, so
I think she does more than Arrowette. Sorry.
Oh,
you think so?
I think.
I don't know. Arrowette got him across the DEO facility, like from the wall to the compound. So
I feel like Robin could have done that. To be honest, like we were
or
saying,
himself.
powers.
Or Wonder Girl.
okay, all right, I'll give you those.
Yeah.
Yeah, all Arrowette does in this comic is get shot and then hit on by Superboy.
Yeah.
Well, when someone's been wounded, you gotta be hit on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, got it.
Man, what if she was just like, I like the attention, keep going. I don't like you, but I'm okay with this.
Oh, so she keeps trying to get wounded?
No, more like I know.
I don't think that's the case.
More like I know what you're trying to do, but I'm not going to try and stop you.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess you could. I don't think that there's anything in her character, but at the same time, they don't really develop her that much in this book.
No.
But I was gonna say, yeah. So Secret, basically, she is a girl made of gas.
Yeah.
And she can shape change. She can look like.
Well, she's made of gas, so.
Well, yeah, but she doesn't have to look like a girl either. I don't know. She can
It's the form she prefers, right?
Yeah. I would assume if I didn't know anything about the character that it would be like you can either take girl shape or you can be generally like dispersed gas. Not that you can look like something else.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, she can look like anything.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't really turn into other people, though. She just, she becomes, like, a big monster, and then she becomes a big monster.
I don't know. If it works, then, just keep turning into a big monster.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's true. She didn't really need to turn into a person, but it's something she could probably do.
I don't know. I feel like I missed that, or I don't remember a part where that was established.
What, she could turn into a big monster?
Yeah.
She did it in the graveyard to scare them away once, and then she.
It's their first encounter with her. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't realize she's a girl or something.
Yeah, and then they she does it to the hunters when they're on the camping trip in the last issue.
Okay. Yep. Those I wasn't thinking of those.
Yeah.
Hey, Tawny the Tiger.
Not to jump the gun.
Yeah, there are a lot of like weird background references. Like in stuff, because like I was just looking through the first couple issues, and I can't believe I missed it the first time. But there's a Captain Carrot.
Oh, I saw that
reference in this.
Yeah, it's you must be this tall to ride this ride kind of thing. It's Captain Carrot.
Gotcha.
Right in front of Bedlam when they're like in front of the cave at Happy Harbor.
Wow, so passes.
Wasn't there like the Looney Tunes superheroes or something? Justice League.
Yeah, they did that too. That was fun. Yeah.
Did you? I was like, I could care less.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I thought they were gonna use them. I thought it was gonna be like, oh well, we can't beat you maybe, but the Justice League of this world can. It's just the Looney Tunes. Although that would be kind of a sad victory, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There it is, Captain Carrot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know who Captain Carrot is.
Oh, he's just like the Marvel universe has like Spider-Ham, in that universe of cartoon animal characters. DC has their own cartoon animal character.
I see.
And so Captain Carrot is the Superman.
It's not an animal.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a vegetable.
Oh, that's where they got the name Bedlam. Because like Robin was like, let's go find Bedlam. And I was like, where did you hear that name? I guess it was
it's
on the sign.
The big sign.
Now entering Bedlam.
But they don't know that's the person. That is the part I feel like that gets skipped over. They're like, obviously the person's name is Bedlam too, because they made this huge sign here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, also, not to jump the gun, too quickly, but I mentioned the last issue, and I think that, like, even though it had its definite problems, I think that was my favorite issue.
Huh.
The camping one?
Yeah. Is that like...
I don't know.
No, disagree?
It was just like a weird shoo-in, I thought. I don't know.
I like the stuff to do with the team. I didn't really like the stuff to do with the parents. I will say that.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I think it definitely highlighted that if Secret had a mother, she would also have mother issues. Because all the girls have mother issues.
Well, to be fair, all of the sons have dad issues. So...
But their dads aren't cat fighting, you know?
Well, they wouldn't be because they're dudes.
Well, I mean, they could.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think we're progressive enough. We should let dads cat fight.
No, that's just regular fighting, okay?
Dog fight.
There we go.
I want to see Max Mercury put Nightwing's head into a cake.
Yes.
Really quickly.
I will say, like, I think the issues where, like, the first few issues of them trying to get the adult and child worlds back together, like, I think those were my favorite, but really only because I wasn't exhausted. Like, by the time I got to the last issue, I was just like, I'm done with this book right now.
480 pages is a little too much.
It's a bit long. Thankfully, I broke it up. I didn't wait until the last minute to like try to binge it all.
Hey,
I read
that was
last
Cody.
Night, so in one sitting.
Yeah, okay, Cody and Shawinta.
Yeah, I broke it up into 3 days.
I don't mean to call you guys out, but...
That's what I always do. I'm not going to change. I did, however, go, it's 400 pages. I probably shouldn't read at the hour before the show.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
But I did, reading it, I was like, I kept looking at the page count and being like, this arc is about to wrap up, but it's only been 100 pages. There's more?
Yeah.
No, I definitely... I split it up into 3 days. Technically 4 if you count today, but I just didn't read a lot yesterday, so I had to make that up this morning. I was like...
Gotcha.
But yeah, so it was a little broken up for me, but it still was a lot to read.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like... I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm... hesitant. See, that's the thing about this book, is that I think that I liked Peter David's issues the most, but also there was some severe problems at the same time. You know, it's a low bar. And also maybe those problems are enough to push it down and be equal with the other things that I had, like, I don't know, less severe problems with, but they weren't as interesting, basically.
Gotcha,
So yeah, that's kind of how that went for me, I guess.
Gotcha.
Because there's stuff that I like. Like I do like Fight and Mad, which are like the weird government team. Like they're like weird, but I like them. I like.
Okay, go ahead.
The team fighting the DEO. Like that's kind of cool. But like then there's stuff like Harm's arc. You know, like Harm's arc to me like is completely forgettable, except for the very end.
I really thought it was going to escalate more into actually something, but it seemed very, like, he doesn't have a plan other than to, like, be mean to people at the church.
You know, I will say...
Yeah, fight the Pope for some reason. I don't know.
I think Young Justice established Harm's reason, reason, incentive, motivation, much better than this book did.
Yeah, the TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
I did I think, I don't know, I didn't like the beginning too much. It felt very slow, and, like, I didn't know these characters, and they didn't get to interact as much. I do feel like they're a little bit too goofy at times, where, like, I don't know what their genuine interactions were, I guess. I don't know. It was a little bit slow getting in. Once I got in, I liked the middle, and then there was a little bit at the end where it just felt like filler. Where it's like, I don't feel like I'm learning more about these characters, so I'm not that interested. Yeah. I don't know, the Harm stuff, himself as a character, I found like interesting because he's a teenager and all of the teams seem so easily like kicked by him. But also, yeah, that kind of didn't go anywhere. It's just like, oh, all we need is Robin to like fight him. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then have him get shot by his dad. That's cool. Which, like, I kind of like that. Like, thinking about superheroes where you can't beat them in a superhero battle. So you gotta beat them on the personal front. Like, getting shot in the back.
Well, to be fair, his dad wasn't in on it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's definitely shocking. And I agree with what everybody else has said, that it's like, you know, it seemed like this was going to be like a 3-part story arc, especially even with the title. I think it was like, you know, something like Feel No Harm or something.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I can't remember now, but it used Harm's name in the title somehow. Doesn't really matter what it was, but it felt like it was going to go on, you know, and then it was just like, well, he's dead now. Like, it's like, well, how does that matter to our heroes then? I don't know.
Like, the way they set him up was like really good as far as he seems really hard to beat.
Yeah, it's like, are they just gonna be like, whatever
so you just gotta get a shotgun.
Yeah. Like, I just can't imagine, like, they're like, whatever happened to Harm? Like, you know, he just dropped off the radar. Is he good? Like,
yeah, and also too. So like that, thinking about that father, like, how is he gonna explain that to his wife? Like, yeah, I'm sorry, I had to kill her son. Yeah,
I think they were on the same page about that.
You think? I don't. I doubt that she was like. I'm okay with you
from
killing
like
my son.
A reader perspective. I think we kind of were like, as soon as he was telling the mom to leave the house, he's like, we gotta bond and work this out. After being like, and then he tried to stab me when he was 11. I was like, oh, he's gonna kill this boy. So I don't know. I feel like the mother might have been able to tell that better, but I could just be assuming.
Yeah, it's the intonation on like when you say like, hey, I've got to talk to my son. It's like, that's one thing. But then you say, I have to talk to our son. Then you know, like, you have to not be a witness.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my... sorry, I see what you're reacting to already.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. So, you know how I was complaining about Spoiler getting her name? I will say she does have to... reread? She does have to contend with Miss Mighty Endowed here. I will say.
Okay.
Stupid.
I kind of like that joke because they never show her properly.
Yeah.
So it's just them reacting.
It's such a dumb joke.
But also, I thought she was gonna come back. They just like.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as you saw a pretty archaeologist at a dig, you were like, oh, something's gonna happen to her. She's gonna get superpowers. If you're pretty and you're at a job, you're gonna get superpowers.
Or you'll get captured by a giant gorilla.
Or you'll be saved.
Yeah. But
they
never do anything with her after that, which I guess is just a throwaway joke.
To be fair, though, the Young Justice team did mention her again. It was like, where is she?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to her?
Yeah.
Which
was more than...
They better do that with Harm, too.
Right. They didn't even do that with Harm.
Well, I think that it was too close to the end of the book for them to potentially.
Gotcha.
But also, I'm wondering if they'll do that again, where it's all...
Sure hope Harm doesn't attack us on this camping trip.
Okay, so a few more issues. We get a Sheik.
Oh gosh, so that had to be offensive to somebody's culture.
I was just like, how are you gonna have this white dude?
Was that like supposed to be a joke? Because it was just like some dude from an office. I thought. I was like, what is the joke here?
So, have you seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yes.
It's the teacher, the one that's calling attendance.
Wait, what? That's what this guy's...
Yeah, that's Ben Stein. That's what his name is.
I had no idea.
Okay, so they kept saying the name, and I was like, I think they're trying to tell me something here.
Yeah, this is some joke that I just don't get.
Yeah, and so he keeps saying anyone,
Okay.
and it's that guy.
Gotcha.
And yeah.
I have never seen Ferris Bueller, so I didn't get that.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
that's the joke.
I don't know. This is definitely where the books get a lot more focused on comedy, and this is also where like it is officially like Young Justice, actually like volume or issue 1, issue 2.
Gotcha.
And it's like it's a lot of dedication to some dumb jokes.
Yeah.
Like the first like 3 pages are like big splashes making fun of like Aquaman losing a hand, making fun of like a bunch of retcons with the Flash, and I think also making fun of Superman changing into Red Superman and Blue Superman, or also maybe that the Justice League was actively with an angel at the time.
I'm not sure I get what you mean.
Yeah, which was that in issue 1, like official issue 1?
Yeah, issue 1.
I saw the
Aquaman
like, thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Robin loses a hand and like replaces it with a batarang.
Right. Oh, okay. I didn't really understand that, but now that you're pointing it out, I'm like, I get it.
And it's like, that's so much art to dedicate to like ripping on other characters that like your parent company owns.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
The problem is, half the time I don't know what are jokes and what are serious because, I mean, they're kind of crazy things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, I guess Aquaman is just, Hookan.
Also, Sphere. Okay, so in Young Justice, what this is, they call it the Super Cycle in this comic, but in the TV show they call it Sphere. I was like, hey, that's Sphere. I know what that looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, okay. So, wait, go ahead.
I mean, that showdown where they're like, I think it likes me more than you. And I was like, they're gonna do that whole like come to me thing, which they did, and I can say I still liked it a lot. It was really dumb, but I still liked it.
Yeah, man. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say too about like Peter David's writing is that I've read a surprising amount of his work. You know, I've read this now. I've read some of his work on The Incredible Hulk, which is like well known. I've read Ecstatics from the early 2000s.
Is that an X-Men comic?
Very tenuously related.
Okay, all right.
And I've read X Factor, also more related to the X-Men.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so all 4 of those written by Peter David. Ecstatics, definitely a comedy book. This book, definitely a comedy book. And they share the same, like, this is like almost kind of cringy.
That is disappointing, because Ecstatics sounds awesome.
It is, I mean, you can try it out. Maybe you'd like it.
I doubt it. If it's anything like this book.
Yeah, it's more adult than this book is, but still comedy and still like ooh. And then like his Hulk work was not for me, but it was serious and people like really like that.
Gotcha.
And then like X Factor, when I read X Factor, I was like, who writes this? And I was like, Peter David, like this doesn't this doesn't seem like, you know, like apples and oranges, like uncomparable. I was like, wow. And that's kind of why I liked the last issue the most, was because I actually felt like I got a feeling for Superboy's like, you know, internal process, you know, right at the very end. I was like, wow, I'm like actually getting like how he's feeling about his problems, you know? And that's what I like about Peter David's serious work. But like his comedy is just like it's all comedy, and I don't get any sense for the characters other than joking and shenanigans and such.
Yeah, like this Hanson bites. I don't get that.
That's that they write on Red Tornado.
Yeah.
Don't understand it.
That's another comedian. They spend a lot of time on that.
I like how they like. That's how they wake up Red Tornado, is that the three of them are so annoying that it reminds Red Tornado what it is to be human.
I felt human emotion for the first time again today.
It was hatred. I will say, when you watch the TV show, like Red Tornado is very much more robotic. And when he talks in this comic, it's weird because wow, there's a lot of human, words in there.
Yeah. I mean, I still imagined him with a very robotic voice.
Yeah.
Is just that, just conveying a little bit more emotion potentially.
Yeah, and whoever did the voice for Red Tornado, that's what I imagined when I read this.
Yeah. Actually,
it's still good.
Mm-hmm. So,
but.
I guess what I was going to say was, Jake, why did you pick this book? We usually do that at the beginning of the episode. We had too much to say.
Oh, but we're only, 40 minutes in. We'll talk about it now why I chose it.
Yeah.
Man. Well, I kind of knew about Young Justice, always from watching the TV show, and I was, aware from, people, I think, that are a little older than us that are into comics, who, grew up reading comics as they came out, really liked this book.
Gotcha.
And so I was kind of interested because it's an era that doesn't get a lot of play because what was coming out at the same time is pretty much universally regarded as pretty poor when it comes to
gotcha.
Comics from the 90s. But this is one that everybody's this is the good comic,
Gotcha.
At least from DC, that came out of the 90s.
Huh.
And I'm that sounds pretty interesting. And I just I never picked it up because it was, I don't think it was ever in a volume before. At least I couldn't find it.
Okay.
I wish it was a little shorter,
Yeah.
but I'm glad they finally collected it all together.
Sure.
I will say they must be talking about any volume after this one.
Really? You didn't like it?
I
would have sworn that you would have liked this book.
Yeah, if I was younger and if I was reading this issue by issue, I can see how I would like this a lot more. Because there was definitely parts... I mean, obviously it was very long. It's a lot to take in at once. But also, I think there's a lot of the beginning of issues where they have to reestablish again the dynamics of Impulse is annoying and does this without thinking and the super ego and ID kind of thing that Red Tornado talked about. And so that they go back to that a lot, but it's always at the beginning of certain arcs and whatever. So it's always oh, okay, here again, yeah, we know this. But, if it's an issue, yeah, you want to be reminded. You're oh, yeah, they're acting like how they always do, or you're getting introduced to it. So.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment that if I was younger, I might enjoy this a little bit better. And it's I just wish that basically, because there's things that I did genuinely enjoy, but then it got discounted by other things. So I was ooh.
Yeah,
that future episode, I just didn't like. Sorry, go Taylor.
I think that I would have enjoyed this much more if I didn't have to read this all together. I think that's really my main gripe with it. Was just having to read it all in a week. I was just but maybe it was just my week. I don't know. It could be it too.
Yeah.
I think the future episode with its whole so we talked about the fact that it's the future and it's whatever iteration Robin's a robot at this
300 point. 835. Yeah.
It's the
835th
Superboy is whatever amount of clone.
Yeah, okay.
And he just looks like a really weird 70s person. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing too. It was he was Superboy clone number 1 million also. So I'm wait, okay, so this is Young Justice 1 million. So obviously they're not running through a new clone every issue. So at some point he just dies a lot.
Also, so okay, I get getting away with cloning one Superman, but you got away with cloning a million?
No. They didn't.
See that?
They just cloned Superboy. Not.
Okay, fine. You got away with cloning Superboy a million times?
I think Superboy got the power to clone himself, and he goes ham with it. I mean, if you could have a bunch of clones of yourself and you thought you were the best thing ever,
Oh, yeah.
Why live with anybody else? Just make a colony of you.
That does remind me, now that you say that there is an offhanded remark in that issue that you'd be forgiven for missing, especially because I forgot. But he says, like, basically when they're, like, talking about unfreezing this mystery member of the original Young Justice, he's like, I might get upgraded to the, like, alphabet, basically implying that he is, like, on the lowest rung of clones of Superboy, but his rank could increase, kind of.
Okay.
So
like, not only are there a million Superboys, but he is, like,
they're
ranked
competing
out of all of them.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's a leaderboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Gosh.
But the text for that area, I guess it was Impulse talking. I don't know, the weird voiceover talking about what Superboy's thinking about, quantifying it and all that. I could barely read that, first of all, because of the font. And then I guess it was Impulse?
I don't know if that's what it was supposed to be or not. Like,
It at least stopped the moment Impulse popped out.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know. I think that's, like, supposed to be, like, omniscient narrator. I don't think that's Impulse.
But it just stops. And, like, what was the point of it? Yeah, anyway.
You mean, like,
that first
file number, whatever? Like, those text?
Yeah, he's experienced excitement. He's about to, like...
I see.
Yeah.
Put out some boasting.
It happens at the very end. It has exposit file 2735 closed ?
Okay, so at the beginning, they have this whole, original superhero has survived or whatever in this thing, and we're gonna revive them. I was like, okay, that's actually vaguely interesting. Like, what has happened between now and then?
Mm-hmm.
Who are they gonna revive? But then it just turns into a filler episode of them making up stories that aren't true.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Doomsday story, like, I was almost like, I don't remember Superboy fighting Doomsday, but I guess I can accept that.
I do enjoy how, like, Robin is like, all of you get off on boasting so much and, like, making up stuff. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then proceeds to be like, anyway, I'm an Olympic skater.
Yeah.
And I was saving every single superhero from falling out of the sky.
I will also say about the Batman, or the Robin story, they changed art style to be, like, more of, like, a classic, I would say.
It looks closer to...
I love that art style.
Yeah,
yes.
It's reminiscent of the New Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Yeah. I will say, like, I saw that and I was like, this could be an actual story. But then they were just like, I don't know, there's something about him saying it that I was like, okay, it's not. It's not real. I can't remember.
It felt like it was taunting me, where they're like, we could do this art style, but we won't.
I
just have to live with the other one.
Yeah. Also, okay, so, with the person that's, like, trapped in the ice or whatever, stasis, but they can't tell, like, who it is, and then, like, the thing at the end is that they accidentally incinerate them because they're so excited. So I realized that, like, it's supposed to be an original member, a founding member, but it'd actually be kind of, like, cool and funny if it was actually secret. And so, like, they didn't actually incinerate her. And that would be a better way to do this.
I gotcha.
Like, it's none of them, so they're, like, hoping that it's, like, them from the past, but it's not. And then 2, they didn't actually die, so it doesn't feel like we read this issue for nothing.
I see. Gotcha.
And then 3, it can pick up somewhere and actually, like, be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Secret living in the future.
I mean, it's very sitcom style, right?
Yeah.
Something exciting could happen, but we've ruined it, so back to normal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, as far as, like, I guess second favorite issue, though, is the one right after this with the young Mixie-Plix.
Mixus Pitalik.
Really?
Mixus Pitalik.
I think so.
I can't believe you like that.
This is your second favorite issue.
I don't know.
It's not. I don't think it's bad. I will say I don't think it's bad. It's just kind of weird.
I have a soft spot,
especially because it is it's called The One.
Okay,
the issue before the one where the girls show up.
I really enjoy that title.
That's a good point. I have a soft spot for Mixie Piddlix.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. I also I do have a gripe with the issue before the one where the girls show up. Like, none of the girls in this cover are the ones that show up.
Well, yeah.
False advertising.
No, that's not. It's not
misdirection.
It's not the cover. It's the inside splash page. And
okay. Well, yeah, you're right.
And that's not. Yeah, I don't even understand your complaint. That's not what it's saying. It's saying it's before the girls show up. There's other girls.
Yeah, the girls right there. That's what I was led to believe.
No, you're just wrong. That's
it's very taunting in some ways, that title. Something exciting is going to happen, but not yet. Just read this issue.
See, that was when I saw that title. That was right after the last issue where I was just like, I'm done. And then I saw that title, I was like,
so
okay,
it kept you
good.
going. So you were ready to give up, and they went, well, you gotta stay.
No, it was the title. I was like, oh, that's a funny title. Okay.
Yeah. Also, okay, it was like so after this issue, I think is the future issue, and then after that, it continues on to the Young Justice number whatever.
No, the future issue, and then Mixes Philip.
Oh, okay. And then what's after that one, though? Secret Origins number 80, I think.
Oh, and that's when Secret shows back up?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, where was I going with that, though? But basically, the one before the girls show up, that's where I was going,
yeah.
I think. Right, so yeah, there's a few issues in between then, but there's one in which they're like, I don't care that this issue was Halloween, and then the next issue it was summer. That was so dumb to me. I hated that joke. And it was like, I don't care that this word is actually like from Japan and it has nothing to do with Spain.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Just like,
why?
No,
see Cody, like, I'm sure they had people complaining, like, you're misappropriating things. And they were like, yeah, we know. We just don't care. Okay, get over it.
I mean, it's still dumb. I don't... like,
it's not a funny joke, and I wouldn't have known unless they pointed it out, I guess.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like, the Halloween one, for sure. I was like, I know that thing, like... You just jump around. That's the point of comics. Like, yeah, I know they're not going to graduate high school soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, going back to Mixes Pillick. I thought it was interesting that, like, once he saw the funny side, he grew old. Like, that was weird.
Yeah, that was kind of strange. It was like, oh... I mean, I think that...
He was restraining himself from aging for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I think what it was really was that it was more of like, like when somebody gets so scared their hair turns white, but instead it was like, he was like, it was life-changing, kind of.
Gotcha.
I think that's what they were going for, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, just had to show him some Three Stooges clips, and that was enough.
Gotcha. I will say, like, I don't think that I like Mixes Pitlick as a character. I think, and the reason why I say I think is because I don't think I've seen everything with Mixes Pitlick in it, but the times that I've seen Mixes Pitlick, aside from Smallville, he was like he's a comedic, kind of character. Like, oh wait, maybe I'm thinking of Bat Knight.
Oh yeah.
I could be also thinking of that character.
They're technically related. So
are they?
Oh, okay.
Are they related?
They're both from the fifth dimension.
Oh. Wow.
I'm sorry.
So anyway, like they're kind of a wacky character, and I'm like, I don't really care for that.
Yeah. I think that I just, probably like Super Friends or something made me like him. Gotcha. But yeah, also though, maybe sometime we should read on the show Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Okay. Is that what makes us looking at?
Yes.
All right.
Maybe sometime down the road.
Yeah.
So after the Mixapidalic stuff, we get another one I didn't super like, except for like 1 or 2 stories in it.
Never mind. You go.
Is the big 80-page Secret Origins? Here's everybody's origin story book, which was fine. I definitely wouldn't have picked it up if I was like a comic buyer at the time. I will say that. Mm-hmm. But since it came with everything else, I guess I'll read it.
Mm-hmm.
But... Okay, so let's start off. Okay, Bart's story. I was like, I really don't care. But I thought it was weird how it was like Bart was like trying to get the tar off of him. The artist or the writer, maybe, I don't know, just did not take the time to explain how he got himself stuck in a barrel. And then how he got this girl stuck in a barrel.
I don't think tar is easy to get off, as this book claims.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. So I thought at the end of this short story, he puts on his costume, and I thought that the funny thing at the end was like, he got the bullies, but also his costume is tarred on to his skin. But then they didn't do that.
Oh.
Huh.
That tar.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I mean, he definitely has it in his hair, which would definitely qualify for a better haircut, but...
All right,
you don't just get tar. You don't get out of tar by just being rolled down a hill. I don't know why this upset me so much, but the idea of tar, it hurts so much. Like getting bubble gum in your hair is hard enough. Getting tar on you, street construction tar.
To be fair,
upsetting.
It's not like he rolled down the hill and got the tar off. He just got out of the barrel.
Yeah.
So the barrel broke apart.
So yeah, that's why I thought that, his costume's going to be stuck to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's still got tar on him. It's not off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did like the...
maybe that happens, we just don't see it.
Yeah, I see it. It's a missed moment. And also confusing at that. I did like the mention that the tar burns him as he tries to, wiggle out of it.
Oh, gotcha.
With his super speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess we should mention who Impulse even is, because I feel like Superboy and Robin is, pretty evident for even those that aren't, well acquainted with DC Comics. But Impulse, it's who's that?
Also a character from the Young Justice TV show. He's, season 2?
Yeah, well, I would say probably equally annoying. They captured the annoyance in both.
Yeah.
But, basically, yeah. So Bart Allen is the grandson of Barry Allen. There we go.
Barry Allen.
Yeah.
Bartholomew, if you will.
Mm-hmm. And he's from the 30th or 31st century.
I don't remember.
Okay, 830 century. Yeah, he's from the future.
What's 100 years to a time traveler? Really?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not 100 years. That's 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at first I didn't notice it until one of these origin issues. I was like, wait a second, if he's just the grandson,
right? Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, so basically Barry Allen and Iris West traveled to the future to live there.
I didn't make that connection even when I read that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they traveled to the future.
I was just like, there. I guess they travel very fast. I mean, I guess they move very fast, but they live very long? Question mark.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, like, I'm like, wait, so who's Impulse's father? Like, they just don't talk about that ever in anything. Gotcha. It's just like, I am the grandson. It's like, it's kind of like...
Well, it might have actually been his mother that was... Well, what did it...
No,
I guess not. I mean, it's possible, because you have...
Oh, yeah,
I guess... have, like, what's her name? Like, Marvel Girl?
Right, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, basically, they don't talk about Barry Allen's child, son or daughter. I guess I incorrectly assumed that he had a son.
Yeah, I think he had a daughter. I mean, but then again, that is also the TV show, so maybe they took some liberties.
Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, it was just strange though. It was like, he didn't get speed powers, he didn't become like a Flash or anything. But yeah, and then basically the problem with Bart was that he was aging rapidly. So yeah, that was the thing that in this issue I was like, so you're 3 years old. You're just 3 years old. You're 15, but you're 3. And the way that they're all like, well, he's not a 3-year-old, is that they like had him play like virtual reality games to teach him like super fast.
Don't worry. We've had this 3-year-old playing video games all year.
So now he's a 15-year-old.
Yeah. Well, and then also too, I don't know if I appreciate this or not, but like they didn't just like say that, oh yeah, he spent his time playing video games in VR or whatever. Like they actually had part of his personality be affected by that. And that, he acts as if nothing can hurt him. Because, when video games is all you know, you're like, well,
yeah,
this is my reality.
I feel like that's a very like 90s kind of mindset. It was like, if kids play too many video games, they won't know what hurts them.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, if it's the future, don't they have someone at least with like a fly swatter nearby to like slap him every time he dies or something?
Oh, I'm sure they didn't think of that.
Yeah.
They were just like, wait, we could have had something simpler? Huh.
But, yeah, and apparently, though, the only way that they could think to fix him was to have Barry Allen, the Flash of the 20th century, come and help him. Which
but it's
he
his
apparently
uncle,
did.
Right?
Yeah, his
Wally West. Okay.
Wally West, yeah.
It's the uncle of the Flash. Or not the... It's so weird. It's the brother of the Flash, right? Like, they don't even have the Flash of this time. Like, take care of him.
No, I think it's, like, brother.
No, not brother.
Like, bro.
Well, okay, sure, they might have a very brotherly relationship, but no. It is Barry Allen's nephew, which actually
Wouldn't that be your cousin, then?
What? No, okay.
Nephew?
No, because you're the uncle to be the nephew.
Okay,
yes.
I gotcha. Also, hey, Guardian shows up. That's cool, I guess.
I guess, except for I'm not a fan of Guardian, except for in the Young Justice TV show.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the doctor's name? Okay, the doctor was like Salma Hayek. I'm like, stop.
I didn't even know who Salma Hayek was. Like, it filled in the details that she was an attractive young actress at the time, but I was like, that name means nothing to me today.
Gotcha.
She's still an attractive actress right now. So
even like 30 years later, weird how that stuff still sticks.
Yeah. Duplex, there we go. Dr. Duplex is the guy who was like Salma Hayek. He was also in Young Justice, but I don't think that was his name. I don't know if he was given a name.
Yeah. Yeah. So then it goes through Superboy's origin. He's a clone of
also Dr. Roquette. Also in that TV show.
Okay. Yeah. Don't remember her either. But yeah, Superboy, clone of Superman and another guy, which, like, they might have changed his origin, but in my head, it's always like, a clone of, like, Superman's DNA and Lex Luthor's DNA, and I'm like, they're like enemies.
Yeah,
and
I don't know
stuff.
at this point if that's like a secret or if that's like a retcon that they've done later, and now it's just like that is like how it goes every time.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I'm confused at least how he's actually a clone of Superman.
Something you can combine people's DNA and it's not them having a baby.
It's them having a baby.
I mean, the show definitely goes into that part more, where it's like, because there's a whole like mini arc about Superman not wanting to recognize Superboy, even though like Superboy's obviously going to look up to Superman, but Superman's like, no, I'm not his real dad.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know,
it's not very Supermanly.
Mm-hmm. I will say, I definitely
father,
like.
I guess.
I definitely like Superboy more in the Young Justice because he seemed a lot more serious. Like, but this guy is like,
oh yeah,
I'm the best.
That's T-shirt Superboy, not leather jacket Superboy.
Yes, true, yeah.
Yeah, there's two Superboys.
Oh, okay. So then they go into Robin's backstory. I had no idea that Tim Drake was in the show when Dick Grayson's parents died. Yeah. I did not know that.
Well, I mean, he wasn't in the show, but he was watching the show.
He was the audience member.
Uh-huh.
So that just said to me, like, Dick Grayson must not have been Robin very long. Neither was Jason Todd.
It definitely put a much shorter amount of time for Jason Todd for me. I was like, wow, he just like, you know, ripped through being Robin.
I mean, you know, died quickly.
For those that don't know, Jason Todd was the second Robin to Batman, and he was killed by the Joker. Basically, Tim Drake is the third Robin, and he kind of like his like special, like, you know, so Dick Grayson, the first Robin, is a particularly good acrobat because he was a child acrobat in a circus. And then Jason Todd used to be a criminal, so he's
street smart,
I guess. And then Tim Drake's thing that separates him is that he's a great detective, and so he deduced who Batman and Robin really were, and then that's how he became Robin. And basically, Batman was like, "No," and like in my head, how it takes place is like he's like, "Please, no." That's not really how it happened, but
no, I think in this story it was he decided to go out and do something himself, right?
Yeah. Basically, like Batman was like
very much trouble. Like Terry McGinnis.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I think so. It's been a while since I've thought about the origin of Batman Beyond.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, Tim Drake and Terry McGinnis are pretty, like, not like literally linked, but they're similar characters.
Gotcha.
Yeah, also, I just did not really believe that Tim Drake and Dick Grayson just, like, hung out. You know, very casually. It was like, yeah, I'll get a pizza and we'll just listen to some records. Like, I was like, who are you guys?
Yeah.
Like, maybe
yeah, that's a little weird. It's, you know, it's especially like you have to go to a different town to see them. Like, it's a little odd.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Maybe it was more of a 1998 thing, and like, you know, what I'm imagining would be like them like playing Xbox or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I was able to accept it.
Okay. So that was the origin of the main three, and then we've got
then spoilers in here.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Why is she
I think included? That they really meant to put spoiler in and then they changed their mind. You know, she would be the Robin analog, essentially.
Gotcha.
And I guess Arrowette.
What does she actually do?
Huh?
I don't know. The one thing that is like sticks out about the origin, because I kind of already knew, like, spoiler story coming into this, like, to her origin story, is that it takes place, and this is a thing that I forgot, while Spoiler was pregnant. or I guess I should say while Stephanie was pregnant because that's her real name. But
What?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that last.
At the very end of her, at the last panel, because this origin story is it's her narrating the story, but it's who's she talking to? It's her talking to her unborn kid the whole time.
Yeah, keep.
Oh, okay, no. Okay. So, the way you said that, I thought that you were saying that she was pregnant while being spoiler.
Oh no, yeah.
Not that.
No.
Okay, that's where I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. But yeah.
What are spoilers' powers though?
No, she doesn't.
No powers.
But also, what does she do then, other than rat on her dad to Batman?
She still fights crime. She's still around.
Did she make her own suit?
Yeah, she made her own suit. She probably
something.
She has a utility belt. I don't know what's in it, but she has one.
She shocked her
There's
father
cosplay
by
accounts
revealing...
on Instagram that can
shocked
make their
her
own
father
suit.
By revealing who she was, that staggered him, and then he was able to be captured.
Yeah, basically, she did.
Sure wish that move could be used on everybody.
Yeah, basically, she fits the part of being Robin because that's basically if she had better funding, she could be Robin.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, those are all the requirements to be a crime fighter in Gotham. Is just have a suit.
Have family
and you can make
problems.
that suit yourself then.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I guess that's kind of that's a sub-requisite.
Mm-hmm. So, in that panel where she's pregnant, there's a poster, and that looks suspiciously like Kevin Smith and Eminem.
No.
It's Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you really wouldn't. That is not something that you would know. I would be shocked if you knew Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, because Bob's silent?
No. Just the.
I mean, it's a timely reference. Just add it to the list of timely references that some we get, some we don't, some half of us get.
I gotcha. But yeah, and then also, I wonder why she has a Superboy poster.
Because people like Superboy. He's
okay.
He's being a dad is not in at this point, so the younger Superman is still attractive.
Oh, I see. I gotcha. Yeah. Okay. And then we get Wonder Girl.
And then we get this is the origin story I really like. How it's all framed.
Yeah.
This is kind of fun.
Okay, I liked it, except for I think I read it a little bit too close to the Young Justice 1 million issue, and so it felt like it had those similar embellishments.
Yes.
And so I was like,
yes,
But other than that, I did enjoy it also.
I was just Wonder Woman loved me so much. She was oh, I'm so great. I was like, what? That can't be that easy.
Wonder Woman's dialogue seemed a little interesting in those scenes. She's like, you're such a godsend. Yeah. I wish I had a keen mind like you, Wonder Girl.
Mm-hmm. It's a little over the top, but I mean, you just have to read it as this is just some teenager trying to hype themselves up.
Yeah. Not even a teenager. She looks like middle school or something. But she's totally you can thank me later. You need to focus, Wonder Woman, on the task at hand.
Mm-hmm. Also, okay, so why does she wear a wig? I don't get that. Is she trying to be like Donna Troy? Is that what it is?
Or, well, I mean, she could be.
She said she's hiding her identity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a which, I mean, it does it effectively.
True.
When this section of the story started, I was all like, wait, who's this?
You never see her in her normal look ever again.
Yeah, I thought for a good portion of the story, I was like, this might be Supergirl, and she's ratting out Wonder Girl, you know?
See, I was like, if it's blonde, it's obviously Supergirl, right? So it's got kind of look like a Wonder Woman, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And then also there's Arrowette, who's also blonde, so we totally got to distinguish.
Yeah, she wears a mask though, so it's okay. You know, it's just like Green Arrow.
Man, and then she's like, and I got to talk to Zeus. I'm like, oh my gosh, stop it. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he thought I was the coolest, and so he gave me like $1 million in my own Porsche.
Yeah, and then Donna Troy stopped by and gave me her old Wonder Girl costume.
I will say, like, this Donna Troy, like, outfit I did not like. I know I remember
Which one?
being like,
wait, the red one
this
or
one.
like the black and
the black
one?
with, like that one I don't like, but I remember seeing a similar costume with the stars that I did enjoy. So I don't know what that was about. But also the red one, I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm glad she did not wear that. I love her good. She had that good excuse at the end where like, I don't think I'm worthy for it. I don't want to like ruin it. I don't want to wear that. I mean, she obviously, you know, it's presented as totally serious that she doesn't want to wear it because it's so sacred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it is like, you know, in both ways, you know, because it's like, it really is kind of like a 70s relic. It's got the flared pants and stuff, and I'm like, that's just not fashionable right now. Like, you know, it's like so it has the like truthful element of like, you know, what she was saying, you know, like this is like priceless, and I'm mini Wonder Girl basically, and then like, but also it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't look good.
Yeah. I will say
I do like. I was gonna say I enjoy her comeuppance at the end of her origin story where she's like, anyway, and that was all me, and he's like, yeah, right, like less interested all of a sudden, which is totally how kids are.
I will say I thought I got a different message from her saying that than I think you did, because like I was like, is she trying to hit on him? Is that what this is?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there was a little bit, like, she liked him a little bit, especially because she realized that he was interested in superheroes, and she's a superhero. And, you know,
I mean, that's how kids are, right? Like, you like the same book as me, we're soulmates. We're the best of friends. Like,
gotcha.
They're just kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like, what if I told you that was me? I'm like, you're stupid. What are you doing?
Yeah, just trying
why would you reveal yourself like that?
Because she's a kid. Kids should not be trusted with very important, dangerous secrets, and they really shouldn't be superheroes. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. It works out. They are fine, except for Jason Todd. He's not fine.
Yeah.
Most of them are fine.
See Dick Grayson saying, when I go to sleep, I hear the screams of my parents.
My gosh.
They're all fine. I don't know what you mean.
The way he shut her up saying that. She was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Now she just sat there in like stunned silence after like throwing somebody into a cake.
Yeah. I was like, okay, Dick, that's a little dramatic.
Yeah, Arrowette, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, also too.
I know we said that like Arrowette wears a mask, but that is glorified like sunglasses.
Yeah, I don't get why she's wearing this.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, actually, think about her mother though. It's about marketability. It looks pretty.
Okay.
It's part of the the look, and you have to buy, if you're buying the costume, you have to buy the glasses separately.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so she's talking.
I'm sure she got it designed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Arrowette is talking about Millie, and so I was a little confused in the end because I was like, is she Millie? Is she talking about herself? Because she's referring to herself in the third person. I'm like, but no, that was her mother.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, okay. It's just such an interesting turn. Or like her mother became like, you're live vicariously through my daughter kind of mother. Like that was weird. And interesting.
Also, okay, so like I would have to like, I'm not I'm not interested enough to look into it, but I have a feeling that Arrowette was not very used in DC Comics until this point. Like basically, she probably showed up as like, in like how they have it in the Secret Origin here with her mother. She probably showed up in Green Arrow like once or twice. And then like didn't really hear anything from her, and so I feel like this Secret Origin is a lot like filling in like very, very big gaps. Whereas like there's this guy who was there, he was a reporter, he said that he would like team up with me, and then he died. And now here's the daughter.
They and talk about like not using Arrowette. Like, they didn't even use her for the TV show.
Yeah, but yeah, that's actually a good point. They did do a different Arrow character.
I mean, there are a lot of them to choose from, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, at least 3. If you have to have a girl Arrow character.
I mean...
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Her dad dying from that shellfish thing or whatever it was... It's a little bit dumb.
But also, too, like...
She's not too broken up about it.
She must have been... Or he must have been, like, a famous reporter. Because she was like, oh, yeah, and now I got a settlement. Or whatever. Like...
No, I think that they just had a life insurance policy.
Okay. She was like, I can
also, maybe you can sue the restaurant for the shellfish.
Oh, yeah, that's actually
but you
better.
prefer bad food.
I definitely could see her mother doing that.
The person who gave him the money... The person who gave the money was called Hal Jordan? Like, that's weird, right?
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it really was, and I totally noticed that immediately. I was like, why? That's not Hal Jordan's job. Hal Jordan is not an insurance adjuster.
Could have named him literally anything, but...
Wait, are we sure? Okay, what if he isn't actually from Evergreen Insurance? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, green insurance.
Okay,
he's a Green Lantern.
He's making it up. That's actual Hal Jordan, and he's just like...
But why? What interest is Hal Jordan?
He just wanted to give her money. I don't know.
No, see, again,
feel bad
famous
for
reporter.
fellow superhero.
He must have been. What if he was a secret superhero, and his wife just didn't know?
Then they would mention.
Oh,
man, that would like.
Cody, I can't believe we never knew this. This is like an ancient callback to like a 1967 issue of Green Lantern, where he goes to Evergreen City and becomes an insurance adjuster.
Wow. Okay. Sure. Airline pilot, space cop, insurance adjuster. Why not? Or not airline.
It's such a logical progression.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I accept it. I kind of have to. It's just...
Yeah, you really do. Okay.
But yeah, so now that mommy has her insurance money, I can now bankroll my daughter to become a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, you say it like that, but that's basically what Batman did to become Batman. Like, I'm gonna use all my parents' money to bankroll myself becoming Batman.
Yeah, I guess the difference is
that was his choice as a child.
Yeah, it was Bruce's dream versus Alfred's dream.
Yeah.
I guess, okay, yeah, that would be different. It's like, all right, kid, you're gonna get revenge on your parents' killer. Yeah. I'm gonna send you.
I'm too old and feeble.
To learn martial arts. Yeah. Okay.
I want to see that alternate reality.
I like Arrowette's whole problem, and also the ending of this origin story where her therapist is like, well, you could just like prove your mom wrong by becoming an even better superhero without her supervision. And she's like, what did you say? Oh my god, that was the best idea ever. And her therapist is like, oh no, I've just encouraged this child to take risky behaviors.
I'm gonna say I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like she seemed a little unhinged after that.
Yeah. Also, like,
which is why I love it.
Like, I mean, sure, we discount a lot of things in comics, but like, I'm pretty sure that there's a whole thing in like, the doctor-patient confidentiality that if like you're a danger to yourself or others, you can like, report them.
There's a misunderstanding of how that legal clause, I guess, works in this book. Yeah. But hey, you know what? It lets the story go on. So
yeah, it sure does.
No,
my arch
this
nemesis,
one's for my mom.
Therapist.
She says straight. She says straight into the camera. I love how like crazy eyes she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't love it, but I was a little worried for her, but. Also,
the funniest thing ever.
I will say, I do like her costume, like the one that she ends up wearing,
mm-hmm.
just all red. I'm like, okay, yeah. But like, what happened to the therapist? She looked like she was just done after that. I quit.
Yeah,
I was fired.
Yeah, she looked like basically like an Arkham therapist. Like she's just like I'm on pills and wine now. My days are limited. I can't take this anymore.
I do think Arrowette's like costume is very pretty, but just give her some like tennis shorts. I don't know. Like they have that scene where she's like, "Man, you guys are so lucky to be wearing pants. I'm scraping my knees here." I'm like,
to be fair though,
you chose that outfit.
I can't. I feel like her mother chose that outfit for her. I feel like if she wanted to change it, her mother would have a huge fit.
Well, also, but she's not in partnership with her mother. Yes. Her mom's in an institution.
Oh, you're okay. True.
They show her in a different outfit at the beginning of the origin story as compared to later. So
yeah, the first one, like before that like apparently took place at the same time at the death of Superman, has her like in her mom's old costume basically, but like the costume that she ends with is like her Arrowette costume.
Gotcha.
So. Yeah, it's like I do like it. It's better than the old one. I think red is better than the gold, especially because she's like blonde hair. But it is what it is.
Did they come up with Red Arrow after her?
No.
Red Arrow.
No. Oh, gotcha.
Already.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because you had the 1980s comic where Speedy, is on heroin, I think.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, yes, yeah, it's heroin.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, good times.
But before we move on from the story, we should say that all these stories were framed in a like teaching lesson to Secret, being like, having a mentor isn't all that it's cracked up to be, or like having someone to fill in their shoes isn't, you don't need that.
Yeah, basically, you don't have to be a protege to be part of Young Justice.
Or just to even be a superhero.
Yeah.
Because, like, Secret was like, man, like, all these people, like, they have their own mentors. Like, I bet it would be easier if I had one. I will say, I think it's incredibly stupid how she was like, was there another Secret before me? I was like, are you serious? Are you actually asking that? What do you think? It's just like... Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So then, oh yeah, there it is. Harm's Way, not In Harm's Way. Mm-hmm. That's what the story's called.
Yeah. Oh man, she's like, this isn't fun anymore. Or well, no, she was like, this isn't funny.
Yeah. Wait a minute. This isn't funny. Yeah.
I don't necessarily know how that fits with her.
I think that Harm basically says it like encapsulates it perfectly. She's in shock because she just got shot. Mm-hmm. And so she's just saying something, because I think, it's like being a superhero is kind of funny, in its own way. It's like, it's ridiculous and totally out of like, it's out of a comic book. See? And so it's like, wait, now I'm in danger. I've never been in real danger,
Oh, gotcha.
I could die.
All right.
Yeah, just coming to the realization that, you're really in trouble. But yeah. So the character of Harm, I mean, I don't know. We talked enough about him, actually. I don't have any different thoughts, I guess. But it was just like...
Yeah, his name is Billy. That's I think that's all we got of his name.
Yeah. I guess the one thing that I will say in relation to Harm, too, is like, they do fight a lot of kids. They fight a lot of kids, / young Mr. Mixelplix.
Yeah.
I mean, young heroes gotta fight young villains, I guess.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, like, we know that Harm is a kid, but, like, he doesn't act like a kid.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, and he doesn't look like a kid either. Looks more like Lobo, honestly, but...
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. I will say, so like, for Harm, like, we don't really get what his motivation was.
Mm-hmm. Well, we do, eventually.
We do? What was it?
His motivation is to become the greatest supervillain.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't understand why he wants to do that, so maybe we don't really get his motivation, but we get a semblance of it.
Gotcha.
We get his goal more than his motivation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, it is a little bit lacking, especially considering where they take the character. It's like, why? I hope Harm comes back from the dead. I'm not gonna read.
I don't know. He gets it pretty definitively. Like, getting killed by your father is fairly definitive.
No.
Yeah, they can't just bring him back and then have it also end that way again. Oh.
Yeah, that's a good point, I guess. But, like, why? What was the point? This is, like, the second most pointless story, it feels like. It's like, why?
It got the team together. Wait, did it? Right? Yeah, I got the team together.
No, it didn't.
Yeah?
The Harm story? Oh,
yeah,
I guess the girls on the team, which is, like, it is the full team, but it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I got them together.
Okay, I guess. But, like, what is there could have been other ways to get the team together and have them still...
True.
Like, I mean...
literally, Secret could have just gone and said, hey, I want you, and you, and let's go, I got some friends. Like, that is what she did. You could have just...
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a little bit more boring. I just, like, Arrowette could have gotten a redemption, Oh, like, for her essentially a failure, almost dying. It's like... But no, just kind of... Meh.
Yeah, he just threw her arrow back at her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Superboy being like, man, Harm doesn't even have powers. I should be able to catch these.
Yeah.
And then Robin does it.
And then the next issue is them infiltrating the DEO, which is the Department of Extra Normal Operations.
Yeah. Also, so because I've only ever seen the DEO, to my knowledge, in this book, I really thought that they were, like, definitely setting them up to be, like, all the way evil.
Oh, gotcha.
But then it was all like, no, the DEO could still be helpful to other people. And I was like, okay.
We keep all the kids we treat nicely on this level. And all the kids we don't like, we keep down here, and we're mean to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, it's a little dumb, because, like, the whole, like, these are, like, Young Justice Secret Files books, I think, which is interesting. But it's, like, it's weird that the whole issue, it's like, man, the DEO is, like, mistreating these kids, we gotta stop them. And then, like, at the very end, like, the two kids that have been helping them are like, we're just gonna stay with the DEO. Like, sure, we just saw, like, a bunch of kids, like, being mistreated, and that could have been us, but it wasn't us. So
yeah, we were mistreated before.
We still believe that the DEO will make us superheroes.
Yeah, which at no point did that, like, come up as a possibility until this issue with these characters. So I'm like, did they feed you some lies, or is that a commonly held belief that the DEO makes superheroes?
Also, too, like, so Secret was a prisoner in the DEO facility, and she didn't even tell them how they were wrong. She came here to break people out, and she was like, "Hey, I guess, like, if you want to stay, that's fine."
Yeah.
As if they weren't evil.
Yeah. It did kind of feel like, you know, the DEO is essentially like S.H.I.E.L.D., and that this was just a little offshoot that was, like, bad.
I see.
But, like, it didn't feel
Just
that
one
way.
bad apple.
Yeah.
It's one. Okay, none more.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And this is when Arrowette becomes useful. You know, she gets them across the yard. You know?
For one moment.
Do you know of any other? Please.
That's what I mean. Like, the way your tone of voice was like, and then she finally proves herself. She just, like, shoots an arrow. Yeah. Which is what she does, of course. But
yeah.
I mean, but how embarrassing would it have been if she couldn't do that, though?
Oh yeah,
really funny actually.
she was like,
sorry guys, the arm I got shot in really hurts.
She was like,
useful later.
She was like, if I can't, just don't tell my mother. Oh man.
Okay, so yeah, harm's way and then do no harm, or first do no harm. That's what the two issues are called that involve harm, and that's the one that comes next, basically.
After this,
what's that moment? That moment with Wonder Girl where they're like, "Yeah, harm was here," or "This guy was here. He's here to do harm." I'm like, "Stop!"
Oh no! It was. I think Red Tornado came into harm. Oh my gosh.
The dramatic moment. I hate that.
That's like in Invincible when they're saying, and then it gets the icon.
Yeah.
Okay, but that is always funny to me.
No, I did not like that at all.
Splash blood across it. I love it because it just keeps getting bloodier and bloodier.
So yeah, after that, basically, there's they have the big, like, the Justice League are unsure whether Young Justice should be a thing, and so they're like, they do, like, I mean, I don't know, I can't think of any other instance, but it does feel kind of classic, where, you know, it's like, well, if you can do this, with these conditions, it's like a game almost, you know, then we'll let you keep being Young Justice. Prove to us here and now instead of your track record so far.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was when Despero came and just started wreaking havoc, I guess.
Yeah.
I think his whole thing is like, I want to be the best fighter or something.
Is it? I don't know. He definitely has something against
Superman. I don't know
Superman.
anything about Despero.
Maybe that was from the TV show.
Yeah. He has something, a grudge against Superman. That's all I really know about him. And he's especially effective against Superman because he has mind powers.
Yeah. But then he gets a hold of Martian Manhunter.
Yeah. The next strongest Justice Leaguer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is he though?
Okay, so also in this issue, like Cissie lashes out at the Justice League. I'd say I feel like that was unjustified. I mean, not unjustified, but like unreasonable. Like, I don't know. I didn't get like the whole, oh my gosh, like you're betting against these children's lives or whatever. You know, like, or I didn't get what she was saying was like, oh, you're always on our case because they're, you know,
she throws
just making fun of each other.
She puts some good points out there where it's like, yeah, you don't approve because like you don't know what it's like to be a real kid. Everybody here has had like a super weird, messed up childhood. You don't know what it's like.
Yeah, I do appreciate where she like, she's talking about like they're just hanging out sometimes, and even then you want them to act a certain way.
Yeah, I will say, I was like, you know what? She's right. I don't think any one of these people had a normal childhood.
No.
Like, Superman's the closest, but like, still though.
Yeah. But also too, like, you don't, Cissie said, like, you don't have any idea what it's like to have a friend or a sibling. And I'm like, you never had a sibling. How would you know?
Well, she's had a friend, though.
True.
Probably. I don't know. She's at least, yeah, anyway. Also, actually, Kyle Rayner, though, he might be off the hook on
I don't know anything about Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, he doesn't.
But he is the guy that's like, well, guys, I think that settles it. Like, I think you were told.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he is definitely more on the kid's side. And I think that, like, you know, given the appearances we've seen throughout this book and even in Justice League of America, when we read that, it was like, you know, it almost feels like, you know, everybody sees him as younger. And so I feel like he almost feels like the bridge between a little bit.
He's like the cyborg from the animated movies.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of like, almost like, yeah, him and Billy Batson, because Billy Batson is a kid, but he's on the Justice League. And then Kyle Rayner's just kind of younger than everybody else, other than Billy Batson.
Yeah.
But yeah. And also, I really did feel when Arrowette was like, you know, hyperventilating after that. I mean, the hyperventilation was definitely played for laughs, but after she was done hyperventilating and explained how, like, you know, anxious she was for doing that, that's what played well, I think.
Oh, gotcha. I was too focused on how I just didn't think that her lashing out was, like, not justified, but like it felt a little too much.
Well, I mean, also think of it this way: like I think that it was easy to ignore the stakes because it's like, oh, well, obviously, Young Justice keeps going on, but you know, in story, the team could be disbanded, and she just joined. You know, it's like you got to really fight for this. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you met some new friends.
Yeah.
And now they're just going to be, you're not allowed to see them anymore, kind of thing.
Yeah. So yeah. And then we move on to the last issue.
Which I will say, I get your kids, but like this whole truth and dare thing, I'm not with you. I just stop it.
Yeah,
and then
I mean, it's a typical plot point, right? To be like, let's play truth or dare, and now you have to tell this truth and be sincere to the entire team.
I hate
get them to talk.
I hate Cassie's question. I'm just like, that is so.
Which one was hers?
He talked to Secret, and she was like, when was the first time you kissed a boy?
That's so bad, that part where they're all like awkward silence.
Yeah.
Like, the question itself is like standard teenager fare. It's just because like the person you have to ask like I don't know how you ask like a sentient gas cloud like have you ever kissed a boy? Like that's kind of dumb.
especially one that lived her life in a prison camp. It was all like...
That's the thing. What does she know about her? Does she know that she, like, did not grow up under normal circumstances?
I hope not. I really do.
Because, like, and then, like, her truthful answer was all, like...
she actually had an answer. I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, and it was a bad answer. It was, like, basically a doctor tried to take advantage of her.
Yes.
It's like, great. Good. Not good at all.
Wow, thanks, icebreaker. Wonder Girl. Awesome. Good start, everybody.
Yeah.
I think Cody was saying that, like, the Superboy stuff of that section was very illuminating. And I can agree, I actually do like the Superboy stuff where he's talking to himself and he literally is like, yeah, I'm like Peter Pan. You guys don't get how cool that is. And everybody's like, denial.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And then, like, at the very, very end he's like, talking to himself, like, or is he singing to himself?
Shadow. He's doing the Peter Pan thing with the shadow, where the shadow, separates from Peter.
Yeah,
I think also that whole. Oh.
I was just gonna say before that, like, also his shadow grows up and becomes Superman and leaves him.
So. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong panel.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was
that's like
layer.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I felt that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's tempered with, like, right before that, like, the last, like, truth or dare they get before that is probably my favorite dumb bit where Robin is wearing a smaller mask under his face.
I knew he was gonna do that.
He doesn't have to be unmasked.
I just knew that was gonna happen, so I was just like, ignore. Don't care.
I love it, but it's dumb.
Yes. Yeah.
Man, whenever stuff like this, like, happens, or, like, we're reading a book for the show, like, I'm like, I feel like I'm such a naive reader, because everybody's like, I knew this was gonna happen. I was like, I didn't know this was gonna happen.
That's such a trained by Batman movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, we're gonna go camping, so we're probably gonna play truth or dare, so we're probably gonna ask me to take off my mask, because I'm the only one still maintaining a secret identity somehow.
Yes.
So I have to wear a second smaller mask.
Wonder Girl continues to wear her wig, but I'm sure she's told everybody her secret identity.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, like, it did weird me out that any of them were wearing their costumes to this camping trip. I'm like, you can put on, like, I don't know, comfy clothes or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if we're on a first name basis, I mean, But I mean, to be fair, like, I think Tim Drake is probably the most, like, pro Batman of all Robins. I would say. You know what I mean?
I feel like Dick Grayson was pretty pro Batman until he wasn't.
Well, so then therefore he isn't.
Yeah, I guess
as pro Batman.
I guess that's true. And even, like, he didn't, like, Dick Grayson became Nightwing because he was, like, rebelling against Batman, kind of, and finding his own identity. And then Jason Todd died and became Red Hood. But Tim Drake just kind of aged out of the role, like, but not in, like, a rebellious kind of way, and became Red Robin, which is still like a Robin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess he is kind of the most pro Batman.
Yes. You know, I just realized this. In this comic, Tim Drake is Robin, but in Young Justice, it was Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
But it makes sense why it would be Kid Flash then.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because they took a lot more inspiration from the original Teen Titans, not to be confused with the Teen Titans TV show that preceded Young Justice.
Gotcha. I see.
So yeah, and then that's the final issue. I guess we could get a little bit more into the parent-teacher conference part. Basically Cissie and Cassie's moms get into a fight because, Cissie's mom, obviously, as we went over in the Secret Origin issue, is, all about like upping her daughter as like the best superhero, and then but Cassie's mom didn't want her to be a superhero, so they're like two sides, two battling sides of ideologies. Like Cassie's mom says kids shouldn't be superheroes, and then she's like, no, mine's gonna be the best superhero.
But also too, like she was talking about, okay, so where's the merchandising?
Yeah.
How's that gonna go down? Yeah. And then that just ticked Cassie's mom off so quick.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, do you not care about your child's lives? But Cissie's mom is like, hey, I mean, you guys are over here like talking like your kids are gonna get into trouble. I seem to be the only one that trusts my child.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, it's like you also didn't have any legal rights over your child, so
she did pull a whole, if she didn't want to do it, she'd just tell me, right?
Yeah, I was like, right, sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then she was like, and I wouldn't have pushed her. What?
This thing I trained her whole life for. If she didn't want to do it, she'd tell me that we had like wasted those years of her life, right?
I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that was all of Young Justice Book 1.
Mm-hmm. Overall, I feel like I would have liked this story if I didn't have to read them all at once. And when I say all at once, I literally mean like within a week. Like I started on Monday, and it was still too much. So if I like took this in like, give me a month to read this, I think I would have liked it better. But yeah.
Shawanta?
I mean, it's 4 hours for me last night, so.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, funnily enough, like, my favorite art style was the spoiler section. I liked that. But I think overall, yeah, it's a lot of little varied stories, so I can't say fully whether, like, I like certain sections, I didn't like other certain sections. I think it set itself up well for what it was. I wasn't led to believe it was something it wasn't. But also what it is, I'm not super interested. I don't think I'm the age demographic for it anymore.
Yeah. Kind of piggybacking on what you were saying. One, I agree with you. I like the spoiler art. I forgot about that, but I especially like there's this like, it's such a short story already, and there was one point where her eyes got wide, but in her mask, and I was like, that just looks cool. I don't know. But yeah, so that was art that I liked. And yeah,
Amanda Connor did the pencils for that. So
good job.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I definitely will say like I think the comedic aspect of it I just didn't like. I didn't really click with that. Like I would much rather have more serious stories.
Yeah. But yeah, I think to if you're listening to this and you've read it, or you think that you wouldn't like it, that the counter, the opposite to it, would be the New Teen Titans by Mark Wolfman, and I don't remember who does the art. They're often paired with Mark Wolfman, though. Or Marv Wolfman, yeah, sorry, not Mark. Marv Wolfman. So yeah, that would be like the more serious leaning kid superheroes from DC.
And what was that, New Titans?
New Teen Titans, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. And what year?
1981?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was definitely thinking the opposite direction.
But that's a guess if you couldn't tell from the intonation of my voice. Anyway, so I think that's all the time that we have for this episode. So this has been the Comic Panel. I'm Cody.
I'm Taylon.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Shawenta.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening. You can catch us Mondays, 5 to 7 p.m. on KSUA 91.5 FM, The People's Radio. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Comic Panel, It's Comic Time. Follow us on Instagram at _comic_panel, like our Facebook page at It's Comic Time. You can also listen to us in podcast form on Apple Music, Spotify, and Podbean at The Comic Panel Podcast. Have a great rest of your day.